Let's bring in criminal defense attorney Lexie Rigden. And Lexie, those are the individuals that are responsible for enforcing the law on the ground. But from a law perspective, what are the legal ramifications for these students and the outside agitators who have been arrested or who might be arrested in the coming seconds, moments at UCLA?
Right, hopefully they will be. You name it. It's a smorgasbord of legal issues that they're facing. If they're resisting arrest, if they're trespassing, if they're causing damage to property, I mean, they could have a lot of issues. But as we've seen with some of these soft on crime policies, a lot of these charges are not necessarily pursued, despite the fact that people are arrested. And this is a general comment, not necessarily as to campus protests, but just a general comment as to the lax enforcement of these laws once it actually gets to the level of charging them. So unfortunately, some of these protesters may just get a slap on the wrist. They may get a summons to come to court. So who knows how serious the consequences will be, but hopefully there are consequences, because all of this behavior around the United States, these campuses, by the anti-Israeli protesters is egregious.
How does that calculus change when it comes to the fact that this is a public campus and anybody, quite frankly, has a right to be on it? It seems like that gives these protesters an even another feather in their cap to fight these charges, in addition to the inevitable money spigot that will be turned on by these far leftist organizations to pay for their defense.
Well, they certainly have a right to be on campus. It is a public university, and there are free speech rights because it's a public institution. But, you know, free speech obviously has a point. It's the famous saying is that free speech only goes so far. You can't yell fire in a crowded theater if there's no fire. So free speech is not absolute. There are time, place, and manner restrictions. And obviously, if you're making comments and engaging in speech, but also breaking the law at the same time, the fact that you are engaging in free speech is not going to save you from potentially facing consequences.
Lexie, you and I have talked on air, we've talked off air about this general concept, this macro concept of law and order. To me, Lexie, looking at the scenes on our screen right now, what you see is a complete function of the fact that our society has lost sight of when you do something wrong, there are consequences. And to hear your answer, you're exactly right. I don't like your answer, but you're exactly right. Inevitably, this is going to be a slap on the wrist for these people. And what's to stop them from doing this again next year, next May Day, if not sooner? And what's to stop every other student who thinks that they're aggrieved, much less every other person who wrongly thinks that they're aggrieved, from acting out like this and basically making our country look horrible?
Yeah, it really does. And, you know, a lot of these schools, and it seems like even some of the higher, more quote-unquote elite institutions have even more tolerance for this nonsense. And it is a sad commentary on the state of America that there are this many people engaged in these type of protests. I would venture to guess that most of these students a couple of months ago couldn't name 2 countries that bordered Israel. And now all of a sudden they're putting their potential future and their education on the line. I think essentially to, you know, be popular and be part of some cause. And, you know, I'd almost have more respect for it if they were showing their faces and they were out there and they weren't making demands, such as the students at Columbia, which is, please, please don't suspend us. If they said, this is so important to us, we're willing to risk everything for this. But they're not. They're masked. They're trying to hide themselves. They're trying to make demands so that they can preserve their educational and other futures while still taking these extreme viewpoints. It's, like I said, it's a very sad state of affairs.
Yeah, they grow up in a world where there are no consequences. They think this situation applies here. Hopefully it does not. Hopefully there are consequences to this action to tamp it down. And I'm going to go one step further before I let you go, Lexie. I think if you asked all those protesters right now, most of them still couldn't find Israel, still couldn't find Gaza, still wouldn't know any of the countries surrounding Israel on a map. Lexie Rigden, thank you very much for your time this morning. Let's bring back William Lajeunesse back live at the UCLA campus. William, what are you seeing right now?
Well, Todd, there hasn't been much change, right? We still have, and I think the big question is going to be, what is this crowd going to do if and when police do move in, make a frontal assault here or the other side? We talked about, as I mentioned, there's still about 1,000 people here, right? They're not quite as vocal at the moment, but that can change on a dime, right? And then as we talked about, there are still students, a lot of them, along these side corridors that enter the camp in different spots. Those are pretty much plugged up with individuals. What are they going to do if and when they make an assault? And if so, again, are they going to go through the building, or are they going to go right here through the front or the backside as well? That's another question. Todd, what about the other audience of taxpayers, right? So there's a lot of different constituencies here, right, that the university is trying to please. Not only the student body, you've got the alumni talking about, hey, I sent my student there spending 20, 30, 40, 50 grand, depending if they're in-state, out-of-state. They're not getting an education. They're not going to class. That's now postponed until Monday, as well as closing buildings. They want something done here. And then you've got taxpayers who are going to have to pay for the cleanup because I've been in some of these buildings. There's graffiti on the walls, things to be done. It's a mess at the university. So again, we talked about the university being a rock and a hard spot. I think, again, because of the counter protest and the danger that presented, if you will, to both sides with the number of clubs and the bats and the gas and the fireworks and all those things kind of happening, that the university said, you know what, we have a liability here. If we let this go on forever. Now, don't get me wrong, they didn't do a lot. They're mostly responsible for the situation we have here. And they even said, there was a piece in the LA Times on Sunday, and the university was kind of congratulating itself that we're taking this hands-off approach. We're not going to beat Texas. Well, you know what? They made a decision more than a week ago to let this encampment happen. And now they have to live with the consequences, right? They didn't want to bring in police because that was going to be a bad thing, that looked bad. They didn't do it, and now what do they have? They have to bring in the police. And a much worse situation as this encampment has literally reinforced itself, the ramparts all day, bringing in the zip ties, tying these fences together, bringing in more plywood. How did they let that happen? We witnessed it. We're looking at, are you crazy? Letting them resupply this way? Your guest just said, you know, cut them off, starve them out. Could have done that days ago when they declared this unlawful. They chose not to. Not sure why. And of course, the other decision is letting outsiders in, because they have a list. So to get into the encampment, if you were here 2 or 3 days ago, there's a door they have to go through, and they kind of vet these people, and they let the students come and go, right? And so they allowed it to be infiltrated, if you will, by outsiders. Where's your ID? Show it to me. Are you a student here? Where's your student ID? Don't have it? Don't get in. That didn't happen. So when we were saying here earlier today, seeing a lot of people in there clearly weren't students. They might have been faculty. If they're faculty, they tell the faculty because they know who they are. Hey, don't do that. Didn't happen. So now they've got this pickle that they're in, situation, which could get really long and ugly, because we've seen some streaming video, I don't know you have as well, coming from the encampment. They still have Wi-Fi, and they're all gassed up. They got their masks, they got their helmets, they got their weapons. So police could be facing that if they go in.
We knew yesterday, though, William, we knew yesterday that UCLA, when you scanned the country at that point in time, literally 24 hours from this very moment, that UCLA was the bad spot in our country. We knew that was the case. How can the entire rest of the country know and UCLA bury its head in the sand with some more mealy-mouthed statements from the chancellor, from the administration there, and no real plan to deal with what everybody saw was inevitable, which is what we're seeing on our screen right now? William, it makes absolutely no sense.
Right, yeah, they're behind the 8 ball. But, you know, I think it's perceptions again. As you know, Todd, this is a very liberal city and a very liberal state. And they did not want to perceive that they were somehow stepping on the free speech rights of the individuals inside. So the decision was made over the past week not to intervene, to let it happen, let them have their say, and so forth. And there were supportive comments of that attitude or worldview among politicians here. That, you know, you need to let people have their say and so forth. And so they had a very different response, if you will, than Texas and Florida. And that was a choice that they're now living with. Todd?
And students are going to school at University of Florida today, whereas the students at UCLA not only can't go to school today, they're not going to go to school tomorrow, like you said, maybe Monday. And when they go back, they're going to have to go to buildings that are full of graffiti. I'll leave it to the viewer to determine which approach is better. William, we'll check back in with you in a second.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.